Hello and welcome to another lesson of English language grade 5. The topic that we are going to cover today is workbook exercises. Let's start. Before starting with the exercises, I want to revise shortly, briefly, the past simple of the verb to be that we learned in the past lesson. The affirmative form: I was happy, he was hungry, she was a nurse, and it was big. As we said, in the present tense, the verb to be has three forms: am, is, and are, whereas in the past simple, it has just two forms: was and were. Am and is becomes was, and are becomes were. Now let's continue with the negative form. The negative form of the verb to be in past simple is formed by adding the negative particle not after the verb was and were. I wasn't sad. So wasn't is was not is the same thing, however, here it's contracted. He wasn't thirsty. She wasn't a teacher, and it wasn't small. These were the sentences in negative form for the singular pronouns. Let's continue with the plural pronouns and then with the interrogative form. We were early, you were at school, and they were quiet. In this case, as you can see, the verbs are all were, because we already said that are becomes were. And we weren't late, you weren't at home, and they weren't noisy. Remember, were not is contracted to weren't. So weren't is the short form of the verb were not. Let's see also the questions. The affirmative is they were happy. What did we say last time? If we want to make the interrogative form of the verb to be, we put the verb in front of the subject. Were they happy? And we put the interrogative mark at the end. She was rich. Was she rich? It becomes in this way the same process. So we put the verb at the beginning of the sentence. We also should remember to use time expressions, which are related in the past are yesterday, last week, month, Monday, year, etc. and a month, a week, a year ago. So this was a short, a brief revision of the verb to be in past simple tense. Now let's continue with the exercises. I invite you to watch the following exercise. I'm going to read it. You are going to take time to select the right answer, and then we're going to check them together. I were in the library. Pam and Kelly was or were at the park with Tony. Simon was or were at the sports center. Mom and Dad was or were at the market. So, as you can see, it is a very simple exercise. And was or were at the theater. We was or were at home yesterday. There was or were 3 boys at the park yesterday. And the last, Mom and I was or were on the beach yesterday. You should keep in mind that in order to select the correct alternative, you should see the pronoun. The pronoun is key in telling which verb is correct, was or were. So take a few seconds and think about the correct answers, and then we will revise them together. Okay, are you ready? Let's check them together. Now let's check the answers together. For the first sentence, I was in the library. You guessed correctly. The correct verb is was. Pam and Kelly were at the park with Tony. Why Pam and Kelly were? Because the correct pronoun is they. So Pam and Kelly are two people and the correct pronoun is they. They is related with were. Simon was at the sports center. Why was? Because Simon is the third person singular. Mom and Dad were at the market. It is the same example as the sentence number 2. They are two people, Mom and Dad, so in this case we use the verb were. It is correct. Then we continue. You were at the fun fair. It's correct. Anne was at the theater. Anne is still third person singular. Then we were at home yesterday. There were 3 boys at the park yesterday. Why there were and not there was? Because the noun is in plural. We have 3 boys. So in this case, we have were the correct answer. And the last one, Mom and I were on the beach yesterday. So Mom and I is we. The correct form of the verb is were. This was all for this exercise. I hope you guessed correctly. Let's continue with another exercise. We're going to look, ask and answer. Before writing the questions, we are going to see what are the pictures. The first one is a sports center. It is already mentioned and it is already done. The second one, what is it? Can you guess the picture? Think about it. The third one, what is it? Think again. Then, let's see the 2 other pictures, 5 and 6. So, before starting with the exercise, I want to go and say the correct words, the correct nouns for the pictures. This is a fun fair. This is a market. This is a hospital. This is a museum. And the last one, this is a pool. Now I want you to take time and to do the sentence correctly. You have to form a question and give an answer, like the model. Was Danny at the sports center? Yes, he was. So, think briefly. The key is to look at the noun, if it is singular or plural. In this way, you can guess the verb correctly, then give the answer accordingly. So, think about it for a minute. Okay, time is up. Now, let's see the answers. So, the first one was already done. Was Dan at the sports center? Yes, he was. The second one, were Sue and Donna at the pool? Why were? Because Sue and Donna are 2 people. So, for 2 people, we use the pronoun they. In this case, they were. Or, were they at the pool? Yes, they were is the correct answer. Let's continue with the third one. Were Tina and Jenny at the museum? Why were? It is the same as the second sentence. We have 2 people, Tina and Jenny. They were. So were Tina and Jenny at the museum? No, they weren't. Why not? Because this is not a museum. This is a fun fair. Let's continue with the fourth one. Were Roy and Sue at the museum? In this case, the pronoun is still they. Don't forget. So, were is correct. And yes, they were. It is correct as well because this is a picture of a museum. Let's continue with the fifth sentence. Was Betty at the beach? No, she wasn't. Why do we use was in this case? Because Betty is singular form of the third person she. So, was Betty at the beach? No, she wasn't. This is not on the beach. Was Mark at the baker's? Is this a baker's? No, it isn't. So, no, he wasn't. Was Mark? It's correct. Why? Because Mark is still the third person singular. We are going to continue with the final exercise. Read and complete. This is a short text. We're going to read it and then we're going to do some questions about the text. When I was little, I was cute, but I was shy. So look at the adjectives. My favorite place was the fun fair and my favorite toy was my doll. My favorite animal was my cat, Pixie, by Rosie. So we read a short description of Rosie. Now we are going to do some questions related with this text. You are going to take your time and to watch the questions. Think about them and then we're going to check together the answers, if you have guessed right or not. The name is already done, Rosie. What was she like when she was little? You have to go back at the text and see the two adjectives which she used to describe herself. Think about it. Favorite place. So what was her favorite place? Favorite toy. What was her favorite toy? And favorite animal? You have to think it and to guess. I hope you guessed right. You can look at the text again and then complete the answers. Okay, time is up. Now let's see if you have guessed correctly. Name is Rosie. We already said that it was completed. What was she like? She was cute but shy. You have it here. I was cute but shy. Favorite place? The fun fair. You can still watch it here. Her favorite place was the fun fair. So you always have to go back to the text in order to see if you have found the correct answer, because the answer is always in the text. Her favorite toy was the doll and her favorite animal was the cat. What was the name of the cat? Do you remember? Yes, it was Pixie. So this was another interesting text. This was the lesson for today. I hope you enjoy watching it and I wish you good luck with your English.